that I want to share with you guys, which I'll do in just a moment here. I'm going to put that in the chat window so you can follow that. And that's about it. We're also sending out a survey, as always, after this webinar. So if you have any thoughts, any suggestions for future webinars, we're really anxious to get your thoughts on things that you want to learn about. Any suggestions for the future? Excuse me. Please put those in the survey, and we'll give you a 10% discount for the content store once you fill out that survey for us. Okay, I think that about covers the basics here. You're probably familiar with this little outline here. This is what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be importing a DAZ Genesis 8 character into Character Creator. Going to be doing it a couple times in different modes to kind of show you the difference. And we're going to be talking about the new CC3 Base Plus, the advantages of it, and also transferring UV from when you have like layer image editor stuff in DAZ, transferring that into Character Creator. All right, so you can go through this on your own time. Probably already, if you've registered for the webinar, you're probably already familiar with this. So we'll just go ahead and close it down. I also wanted to preface this. We have a weekly special, as always, in the content store. So today we have all this stuff in the content store. This Titans of Time. I'll throw this weekly special thing. You can always find it in the content store whenever you go to the content store. Down here under savings and goodies, you'll find the weekly special there. And I'll throw this link in the chat window for you guys, so you can check it out, get some savings on this this thing in your own time. Whoops, that's the wrong item. Zoom is the same color as the Relusion Hub. There you go. Alrighty, and I'll close that down. And if you want to learn more about the stuff that we're going through today, we have this DAZ and Poser Transformer page from the Character Creator 3 main page. If you go over to here to features, you can find that. Is it in features? I do believe so. Yeah, character pipeline, and go to DAZ and Poser character import. There's a couple more. If we don't have time to go through all the details today, you can go to this page and check out. There's a couple of videos that show you how to do certain things. I'll throw this in the chat window as well. Have to load it up every time. There we go. And finally, a couple of tutorials that I picked out, recent ones that we've done here. This one here is talking about the UV transfer workflow. And this is basically when you're using the layer image editor in DAZ, because the DAZ Genesis characters have different UVs from Character Creator 3 characters. This shows you how you can use the UV transfer tool in the Character Creator 3's SkinGen tool to basically transfer those UV maps over, so you don't have to worry about adjusting them and trying to find the correct position for all that stuff. So that's this tutorial here. And finally, we have this other tutorial. This is the basic one that we did. I just released about a week ago. This talks about converting DAZ characters to the CC3 Base Plus. We're going to be going through this process in this webinar, so don't worry about that too much. Where's my chat window here? There we go. Shazam. There we go. All right. I just threw a bunch of links at you, so you can check those out on your own time. And also this one here, because I just previewed the questions you guys had asked me earlier before this, before today's webinar, and a lot of people were asking about, hey, how do I get my dad's clothing in and all this stuff. Like, so this is the way you can do it. This is one way you can do it if you want the clothing to be imported separately. I'll talk about that a little bit later, how it's actually best to use the transformer tool. Where's my share button? There we go. This is the final link I'll send you, I promise. All right. Sorry to inundate you with links here. Cool. Close all that down. Close this down. And we're ready to go about the live demo here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start in DAZ. We're going to import in, and we're going to just basically set up a very, very basic DAZ character, DAZ G8 character, and then we're going to import it into iClone. Character Creator using the transformer tool. Okay, so let's just go over to our figures here. We're going to use a DAZ Genesis 8 basic female. Just going to throw her in there. All right, we'll give her some clothes right off the bat here. Let's just give her this basic wear 01 here. And we can throw some hair on there as well. I'm going to be using this Leone ponytail. There's a couple of other hair types we could use here as well. There we go. All right. Looking pretty good. We can just throw on, let's see, what else can we throw on there? Oh, we want to throw on some of the tattoos for the first import. And I'm going to show you why, the first method of importing here. So let's go to our materials here. So we have this content pack. Oh man, I could probably link this for you guys, but I don't have the link handy. This is a content pack on the Daz store. And it's called, you can just search for it, Inked Volume 13 Tattoo 6. We can probably find it, but I'll throw in a couple of tattoos first. It's pretty cool, just a bunch of really cool tattoos. And again, you can see it with the layered on the top right there of every thumbnail. Will indicate this is using the image layer editor there. It just takes a second to load up. And then we'll throw in a couple of other tattoos as well. Shouldn't be taking that long. There we go. Okay, so you got that cool looking tattoo on her back there. I really like the tattoos in this set. They're really, really funky. Maybe even would tattoo them on myself. Okay, so we have this other one, this one tattoo. This one actually goes across. This is the most complicated one to apply to in Character Creator 3, because the UV maps of the CC3 Base Plus characters are quite different than the UV maps of the Daz Genesis 8 characters. And this UV map, as we'll see in just a moment here, actually goes across 3 separate sections, 3 separate materials of the body. And I'll give you a little preview. It's the shoulders, the neck, and the body there as well. Okay, so we just have those 2 tattoos on there as well. We'll throw on another arm one here, which is the arm one I use. This I think it's this one here. It's cool tattoo sleeves anyways. Really cool stuff. And then we'll have one more tattoo, which is actually we'll do this one on the back here with the all-knowing eye, and then put one on the face as well, because they're 2 separate areas. So this sleeve should be appearing. Okay, it's the wrong side, but we'll just I use the other side for the example that I exported. And I'll show you that in just a moment here. Because when we import it into Character Creator 3, what we need to do is there's 2 ways we can do this. We can bake all of the Daz materials, all of the Daz textures onto our character, and I'll show you what that does in just a moment. And then we can also just basically bring in the Daz geometry, bring in the G8 character, but replace the skin with our SkinGen skin, which is, in my opinion, the recommended way, because there's a lot more options with it. And then we have this final one for the face here. This little tattoo by the eye there. She hasn't killed anyone. I think those teardrop tattoos mean you killed someone in jail or something. This one is a little 4-leaf clover, so maybe she killed the Lucky Charms dude and got the 4-leaf clover on her eye. That should appear in just a moment, and then we'll export our character. All right, there we go. Okay, you can see right there a little 4-leaf clover by her eye. And that's all the stuff we're going to import in. Now, if you want to find all of these materials, we will do that a little bit later, since we're going to be re-exporting this character. So let's go ahead and export this one first. We'll go to File, Export, and let me go to my webinar folder here. CC3 Plus. Okay, you want to import it as an FBX. Okay, and this is the one that I exported already. It's called Tattoo Athletic. Now I already have this character saved as an eye avatar. Okay, so we'll just basically go ahead and save this as number 2, whatever. I just want to show you the export options here. So again, we're still using FBX 2011 binary. Just keep that in mind. All of these other options you want to have selected. And you can go through these kind of on your own time there. Edit, morph, export rules, rule 0. match dot period head. There's a period before that, and just ignore. Okay, and then just accept, and that'll export to FBX format. Now, if you want to export the hair, what I recommend doing with any hair items, I recommend exporting them with the transformer tool, or just exporting them with the character, because when you import them with the transformer tool, we spent a lot of time on this transformer tool to be able to import basically everything from DAZ. So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring the zoom panel down here and just go over here to transformer. So this is again with only available with crazy talk, Character Creator 3 pipeline. Okay, just the pipeline version, you'll have the transformer tool here. So highly recommend getting that for DAZ users. Click on transformer. Now you now have the option to choose between CC3 and CC3 plus characters, bases. I highly recommend CC3 plus base, CC3 base plus it's supposed to be called, because the geometry is a lot better and a lot more detailed. Okay, so we'll go ahead and find that file. DAZ model. All right, so just to the Tattoo Athletic 1. You know, we could do 2, it doesn't matter. I already have it saved as an iAvatar. I'm just going to show you the import options, because when we bake this, if we want to bake the materials of our character, it'll probably take about 3 minutes. And I mean, I could probably just, you know, shoot the breeze with you guys, talk for like 3 or 4 minutes. But you know, I'd rather just skip that whole process because I have the avatar saved already. So just go to your file, open it. And in the next window, you'll find the most important options, which I'll briefly explain. We have a basic option and an advanced option. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with these, there's always the option to read first right here. And this will open up the help file in your browser, which will tell you the difference between basic and advanced. So basic is just only the diffuse and opacity channels from DAZ. Advanced has all of the channels, so diffuse, opacity, bump, normal, etc., etc. Okay, this one imports them all from DAZ. Now you need to make sure that you bake those textures as well before you, when you import, if you want the DAZ textures to be applied to your character as a base. We'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so you can just go here anytime. But I'm going to go advanced because that's the way I imported the original character there. And so we're basically going to be transferring all those maps over from our DAZ character. Again, keep in mind, this is only available with G3 and G8 characters at this time. So it'll pop up with an option here to do a couple of, to bake our materials, and then basically to set our hair as a hair item, okay? So here, if we select bake body texture, now if we don't select bake body texture, it's just going to basically replace the character with a default SkinGen base skin. Okay. However, if we want to keep our DAZ textures, then we select bake body texture, and that's why I said this will take a couple minutes. And you go to 2048 by 2048. Don't worry about the texture profile. And what you want to do is define your ponytail, the hair item, as a hair thing right here. And then just press OK. Okay, so once you press OK, that's going to take a couple minutes to bake. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that, and I'm going to load in the iAvatar file that I already have saved here. Where are we here? Too many webinars in the folder now. Eh? Okay, so this item here is called, you can see on the left side there, the tattoos switched arms, so don't worry about that. Okay, but this is basically it's just loading up the thing again. Gosh. So we'll import this. We'll load up this project file here, character creator project file, and that'll be basically the same as when we just imported in our thing. Okay, so just like this. Whoops, save. Nope. Replace all. Okay. So say we waited like 3 or 4 minutes. And it's almost taking as long to load this stupid thing, but then this would be the result if we baked our character and everything. The result would be what you see right here. And this little preview, you can see the creepy looking eyes. That's a little preview of what we're going to do later with this character. We're going to change this healthy looking athletic character into an evil Halloween type character. Okay, so this is all we'll have. So when we import it in, it'll bake. You can see we have all the same tattoos, yada yada. And if we zoom in, there you can see we have the original Daz textures. Whoops, let's just go over to our materials here. And you can see everything is set to digital human skin, aside from the hair, which is set to PBR. We can switch the hair stuff to digital human shader as well. It doesn't really matter at this point. But you can see here we have, let's say for example, we'll go to the body there. You can see all the textures, metallic and roughness have been imported in. And now we have the option to, do a lot more editing down here. Now, if you want to save this this hair, one thing I noticed about this hair, if we go to our scene here and just make sure we select it, one thing I noticed about this hair is it's a little bit kind of thin in this one area, so it makes it look like she has a huge forehead underneath this area here. So one way I can modify that is just going over here to my, there's these two bangs materials. And what you can do is you can just go to your opacity channel here and take the brightness, adjust the brightness a little bit. So you make it a little bit thicker. You can see we can make it really thin like that or really thick. Okay, so maybe I'll make it a little bit thicker. And then close that down. And then there's bangs too. So there's two layers of bangs. The hair can be sometimes really complicated on Daz characters. So we can thicken it up a little bit, just so it kind of covers it a bit more. Take them up to about 25 or so. And there you go. Okay, it looks a little bit better. It's not so transparent. So that's just one little adjustment you can make to the hair. Now, the advantage of importing your character in like this is now we can actually save this as a hair item. If we import it separately as just the hair without the model on it, it'll import as an accessory. Now, there's not much of a difference between the two, to be honest, but if we want now, we can go over here to our content manager. We can go to here, down here, and we can go to custom. And now we can save it as a hair item. So you can see here the plus symbol is enabled. All right. So we can save that as a hair item. I think I saved it already. Let's just, resave it over top of this one here. I guess it doesn't do that anymore. Okay, we'll just call it hair cool stuff. What a name. Okay, so now you can apply that hair to any other character. And the only problem with Daz hair is when you import it in, it doesn't have weight maps for physics. And we can probably talk about that a little bit later if we have time, but I'm going to kind of zoom through this because we have a lot of other stuff to cover. So you can save it as hair. Now, if, for example, I was to export just the hair by itself, so if we go, can we do this right now? I guess we can. Yeah, let's just go ahead and make this invisible here. Let's make everything invisible. So we have this, just this hair item right here. What we would do is we would save this as an OBJ. So save this Daz hair item as an OBJ. File, export. OBJ. Did I already save this somewhere? I think I saved it on the desktop. Doesn't matter. Let's just save it here. Create a new folder called OBJ hair. Call this Leonie hair. So for those of you who are interested in saving separately, I don't recommend this method, but this is possible. So the better method is to use transformer. So then when you convert, when you're using OBJ export options, generally you just want to use the Daz Studio 1 centimeter to 1 unit because that's the same as iClone, and go accept. And that'll import, export as a OBJ. Right, so when you import it in, if you want to import the hair separately, just go to create and go to accessory now. Notice that cloth, hair, and accessory here is with FBX key. FBX key is if you've already exported from character creator and you want to modify it to something else like ZBrush, and then it'll assign you an FBX key when you export So you use that same FBX key when you import in again. In this case, we're using OBJ, so we'll just use accessory here. And what did I save it as? OBJ here. There's our Leone here. Okay, so we'll just import that. And when we have this, we'll need to save it as an accessory. We'll see that in just a moment here, because I know a bunch of people asked about that. But again, I want to reiterate here that the best way to do it is just to import in using the transformer tool and save it separately as a hair item. Okay, so you can see it'll import in a slight change in the scene there. Let's just make this one invisible. So you can see now we have two hairs or two accessories assigned to our character. This one here has little sunglasses beside it, indicating it's an accessory. This is our original hair right here, indicating that it is actually hair. So what we can do is we can take this hair right here, and notice now if we go to our content manager and we're in here, let's go to our custom tab over here. We can assign this. If I delete the original hair, it's not going to allow us to have this plus sign here. I'm going to actually just do that because we're going to replace the hair. So let's go back to our scene. Let's just delete this original hair. Okay, you notice we still have the same issue. It doesn't matter at this point. So now we only have the accessory hair. If we go to our content tab now and we're under hair, notice there's no plus sign. Okay, so this is the disadvantage. So you're saving it as an accessory instead of as a hair item. So what you have to do is now you have to go over here to accessory and go to your custom tab and accessory to the head. And here's where you would save it as, I've already done this, save it as OJ. And now you can see the plus sign has appeared, excuse me, which means we can save this as an OBJ. But again, I've probably said this ad nauseum. You want to use the transformer tool is the recommended way to do it. So we'll just press Control Z and get that hair back, and then we can delete our accessory since we already would have saved it right here. All right, I think that should do it, right? Let's make sure, yep, okay. So we'll just delete this accessory here. Cool. Okay, so we have all the original, let's get into SkinGen stuff now. We have all the original DAZ textures imported in. You can see with the tattoos, everything imported in just fine. Fine and dandy. So what we'll do now is let's take a look at how we can maybe modify the face a little bit using SkinGen. So I'm going to go to the content tab and we're going to start over here with skin. Now, there's a couple different things you can do here. If you change the skin base, it's basically just going to replace all those DAZ textures that you imported in. So no real point in bringing in the skin base. If we just go over here to our modify tab and go up to our appearance editor and just load up our editor here, you will see that it has already assigned, it's basically converted all those DAZ textures into a base layer in SkinGen. And you can modify that layer just like you would any other base layer for traditional CC3 Base Plus characters. You can see here skin base. We have the head selected. Okay, so here's all of our head maps that have been imported in. Okay, they've all been assigned, various things here. You may think that, sometimes DAZ characters, when they import in, they're a little bit pale. They look like vampires almost. What you can do is to adjust that, you can adjust the saturation a little bit, like the base color saturation. So pump that up maybe to like 0.25 or 0.22. Now her lips are really pale, so it's going to look a little bit strange. Just don't pay attention to the lips because I don't think people who are alive have lips that pale. So yeah, we'll just, just look at the head. The skin looks a little bit better when you increase the saturation a bit there. Okay, so that's one step you could take. The other steps you could take, you could go down here. There's all sorts of other options for colors, saturation, and brightness. Don't worry too much about that. What we'll do next is we're going to go ahead back to our content, and we're going to go to like normal effects. We can apply facial wrinkles. Okay, so like parts of the facial wrinkles, we can maybe add a lip wrinkle here to the female. Okay, so you'll see the lips wrinkle right there. A little bit of a change on the lips. We'll go back to the content here. Let's maybe do something like, oh, cheek wrinkles. Those are always interesting. Okay, so we'll just add this. Okay, so you can add all these SkinGen effects. The purpose of doing this is you can add all these SkinGen effects onto your G8 base maps there. So here's our cheek wrinkle here. We can increase the opacity to make it stronger. Okay, just like that. So this is basically if we wanted to use the original DAZ texture. Now the problem with this is since we have the tattoos on our character, what happens if I adjust something like over top of the tattoos? Like say for example, I decide to go to content and like body or noise here. Let's just choose something like maybe skin details here. Yeah, skin decal. This will be good for the face. Okay, so these are basically just layers that we can. The skin decal for face are basically just layers that we can adjust. They're almost like skin bases, but you can just put them over top of everything else. So I'm just going to use face decal F1, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment here. If I apply this face decal F1, it's going to just basically replace all the skin texture on the face for the DAZ character. You can see it's quite a significant difference. So it's this layer right here. And what we'd probably want to do is, bring this layer below other layers. You can see it really fades out the eye tattoo. And pay attention to these ace cards down here and the eye tattoo up there. If we increase the opacity, those will fade away. And that's the disadvantage of baking with the DAZ textures, is because your skin base right here, I mean, you can't click and drag it on top of the face decal. So your skin base is always going to be the base layer. So you can't take these tattoos and put them over top of the face decal. So whenever you have anything like makeup or anything like that, what it's going to do is it's going to basically just fade anything on the base layer like this. Okay, so you'll see the difference right there with a face decal at level 0 and the face decal right here. And again, if we zoom out, you can see the difference there between this part of the tattoo now and that part of the tattoo. And that's because that's exactly where the UV map stops there. Okay, so, and again, the eyebrows look all weird and stuff, and not the ideal situation. So, I mean, if you want to do some really significant changes with SkinGen, I would recommend just going for the basic import, and I'll show you that in just a moment here. But again, if you insist on keeping the base DAZ textures, and you don't have to worry about fading stuff that's using the layer image editor, then it's fine. Then you can go ahead and bake your original DAZ textures and so on and so forth. Okay, let's just start a new project. We're not going to use this one for now. Start a new project. Yep. And we'll make everything visible here again. And what I'll do now is actually, we can just, export this the same way. It doesn't matter. We don't even have to have the tattoos on the character. But what I wanted to do is find those tattoos. What am I in here? Oh, that's why. Okay, so these tattoos here, if you want to find all the images for those tattoos, you can simply just right click on any of them and go to where is it here? A browse location there, and that'll open up your Explorer right here. And you can see the Dyson files and the PNG files. These aren't the actual images. These are just the thumbnail images. So what you need to do is you need to go back to your content folder, and you need to go into runtime, and then textures and runtime, and what is it called again? Shanna's Soulmate. This folder here. This is the folder for the DAZ textures. Okay, you can see right here, for example, there's our tattoo. That's a different one. That's the cat on the stomach, I think. Where's I'm looking at here? Oh, the arm tattoo is over here, for example, and we're going to be bringing these in just a moment. Okay, I'm going to show you the recommended way to do things. Okay, so you know, you can export this character, same thing. As long as we have that folder open, just make sure you want to have that folder open there with all the tattoo image files in there. And then we can just basically close down DAZ now. We don't need it open any longer. Since we say we just export it again, we use the same character, it doesn't matter. When we import in now with a transformer, I'm going to use CC3 Plus. And we'll just do athletic tattoo, doesn't matter. Okay, same one. But when we do, we're going to use the basic mode here. And we're not going to bake the textures. Okay, so now we're going to choose basic, because this is the fastest way. And I'll show you just how blazing fast it is. I'm just kidding, it's not that fast. We'll go to hair over here again, just define the ponytail as the hair. We don't want to bake body textures, just press OK. And so what it's basically going to do is it's going to import in the DAZ G8 structure, and it's going to convert it to CC3 Base Plus mesh, but the look is going to be the same. And we have the option for those tattoos, excuse me, we have the option to import using the UV transfer tool in SkinGen. Now, keep in mind, this is with the SkinGen pipeline version. It comes with this tool, so you need to have that in order to do this. So if any DAZ users, I highly recommend getting the SkinGen Premium there. And it'll load in just a moment. So there you go. Okay, not too bad. But you'll notice that the skin material, especially for the face, has been replaced with our default SkinGen skin base there. Okay, and it looks a lot more natural, in my opinion. You know, it's a bit better in some cases. And again, you can do the same thing with the hair if you want. You can see this particular hair. Maybe it's a little bit far back on our character's head. So sometimes you may need to adjust that slightly. You can just go to your scene here, make sure the hair is selected, press the W hotkey and move it forward like this. Or you can, in this case, probably press R and just scale it slightly larger on the Z axis there, slightly larger on the Y axis. Okay, and that should fix it. All right. And then you would replace it with something else. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to basically replace the base of our character. And I'm just going to replace it with a different skin base here. I'm just going to go to skin base, and we can choose any of these skin bases, actually. There's a realistic human female one here. Let's use this female Asian, since we're basically going to be turning this cool athletic female character into a gaunt-looking vampire. That's the next step of this process. And then we'll be importing it into iClone, and I'm going to be showing you some cool lighting stuff in iClone here. We'll just replace everything, doesn't matter. Again, this particular one is available with the realistic human skin pack right here. So whenever you see this folder, realistic human skin, it's a purchase content. Just be aware of that. But highly worth it, in my opinion. A lot of cool stuff. Artists took a lot of time to create these templates, so you can make use of them. All right, so it took out our eyebrows, which is kind of what we want. I want this character not to have any eyebrows, which is why I wanted to replace those things, because we're going to make her look pretty creepy in the end. You'll see. You'll see. Okay, so what we're going to do next here is we're going to use that UV transfer tool to bring those tattoos on. We can replace her clothing. We'll do that a little bit later, though. The first step is to go over here to skin, and the bottom of skin, you're going to have these SkinGen tools here, and there's decals we can load in. There's all kinds of cool stuff. I'll talk about the UV transfer tool in this one here, and you can see under UV transfer we have special templates for G3 and G8 males and females. The G3 female right here. Now there's different areas here. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the body. Which section do we have selected right now? Okay, we have the head selected. So the head selection here, we want to bring in the face. We can do for the face. Let's do that one first for the little. So we're just going to double click the face tool for that little Irish. What's it called again? 4-leaf clover on the eye there. Okay, so we're in the head material. We have this GF face. And what I'm going to do is back into that folder there. We have the face tattoo with the Irish clover, which I believe is this one down here. If we double click it, yeah, you can see that little clover there. All right, so all we need to do here is basically click and drag that clover into the JPEG into the base color channel over here. And what's going to happen? Boom! She's going to turn. Oops! She's going to turn white. And all we need to do to fix that is just change the blend mode here from normal to multiply. And there you go. So now we have it as a layer that we can move around back and forth on top of different other things. Okay, so that's the first step there. The second one we're going to do is go ahead and do a back skull one here. Wait, should we do back skull first? Yes, let's do back skull. So this is basically the rest of the face, this back skull one here. So again, we're going to apply this to our character. And for this one, we're going to bring in the, what is it? The one on the back there. This, the one on the back of the neck. So we'll select that. And where was it? I have it saved here as, I always forget which number it is. 13, I believe. 1, 12, this is 13 here. Yeah, so it's basically in two parts. You can see one part over there, one part over there. So let's just bring that in. And again, it's going to, so this area here is the UV that's called the back skull. Okay, so whatever goes white, we're actually going to have another back skull one to do the top of our chest tattoo there. Okay, so you see it'll appear on the back, and then we just, again, change it to multiply. Cool. All right, and then we're going to load in another back skull UV tool on the head and bring in our chest tattoo, which is the main one, and that's going to be number 1. I remember that one. It's number 1 right here, so it's the first one. Let's see, we double click it. That's it right there. Okay, so if we need to make sure we select it. Select that layer and then bring in the base color map. And again, basically just repeat this process for all the different maps. But you have to be aware of which area is covered by what. Okay, so that's the top layer there. So now that's pretty much all we have to do for the back skull, or for the back skull layer. Let's go over to our body material now. And the body material, we're just going to be using the 1. So this is for body. So make sure you're in the right material when you're applying these UVs, otherwise it'll apply in a really weird way. Okay, so again, we're in the body material, G female body, and we'll just basically apply this, basically apply the same map onto our base color channel there. And then we have to do one for the shoulders as well. Okay, so again, just change to multiply. And you can see it's kind of cut off at the shoulders there. So what you need to do is select your body. I think it's still body. And then go over to content and do shoulders. There's one specifically for shoulder. And I'm pretty sure shoulder goes under body. It could go under arm though too. I could be totally wrong. We'll find out in just a moment. So we're going to the shoulder and bringing that same 01 tattoo to our base color map. And if this applies correctly, then it is in fact the shoulders. No, it applied incorrectly. So the shoulders is going to be part of the arms. I should have guessed. All right, so you'll see what happens. It'll apply incorrectly. We'll still have that blank spot on the shoulders there. If we change it to multiply, it'll just basically layer over top of here, which is not good. Okay, so let's just go ahead and delete that. It's good to get it wrong. It's good to kind of show what happens when you do get it wrong. So now we'll change to the arm material. Okay, so the arm material, we're going to have a shoulder one. Shoulder tool, and do the same thing. And you'll see the difference when we apply it to the arm. Okay, whoops, select the layer there. Go here to base color. All right, that's how it's supposed to be applied. And we can go to multiply. And then in that same arm material, we're going to choose an arm one, and we're going to apply that arm sleeve, I guess they call it, tattoo sleeve. And then that's all the tattoos I'm going to apply. Just kind of wanted to show you the different areas on the top. It's the same goes for the base and everything. We can fix this later. So we have one for the arm. And for this one, we're going to load in, we can load in both of the sleeves if we wanted to. Which one is the sleeve that we want? Let's just throw in this one here. And again, all you need to do is throw in that base color map and change to multiply. And there we go. All right, pretty cool stuff. And if we want, we can save these clothing items as well in case you want to learn how to do that. I think we're done with the. No, let's stay in SkinGen. We'll take care of the clothing right before we export. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm actually going to replace my character's hair since we're going to be using hair with physics in it a little bit later. Excuse me. Now, let's go ahead and replace the hair. Well, we can replace everything, I guess, now since we're going out. Once you get out of SkinGen, it'll basically load everything up again. So I'm going to just go back to hair here. There's some really cool hair from a developer Swam on the content store. I highly recommend checking her out. There's a whole bunch of cool hairstyles here. You can see. I've downloaded a bunch from the content store. The one that I wanted to use is this Lego hair here. Almost sounds like Lego. So once you apply any sort of content to your character, it'll deload the appearance editor or the editor appearance tool. And then we'll have to load it up again in just a moment. We're going to make her creepy. But first I want to replace the hair and everything. And the clothing, since, it's not really the most threatening clothes to wear that athletic outfit. All right, cool. And maybe blonde isn't the color of choice for evil. I'm going to call her a necromancer or a witch or whatever. So if you want to adjust the color of your hair, the easiest way to do it, just go to your modify panel, go to the materials up here, and with your base color channel, since they're all kind of linked here, the base color, you can see that little share icon or whatever it's called there means that all the base colors are linked for these two anyways. Okay, so what we'll do is just select that, go over here to down here to adjust color, and just take the brightness down like that. You can increase saturation or decrease saturation to whatever level you want. You can get like kind of funky evil colors like this, gray colors, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to take it down to like this, and that's fine. Okay. Once you're in the black, then not too much. You can increase contrast or decrease contrast to get this effect here. It almost like it affects the metallic level of your hair. Okay, so just be aware of that. I'll keep it at pretty much normal level there. Okay, and I think that's looking evil enough. Cool. Hair, we need to replace the clothing as well. So let's go into clothing really quick. And I have this sorceress stuff. We're not going to worry about the underwear, except for the shirts. This playset sorcerer and sorceress pack that I recommend checking out. If you ever want to make an evil sorceress, we'll throw in this lady pirate top, I guess it's called. Now I'm just going to keep cloth shape in this one. If you want to learn more about this, you can always ask me in the Q&A. Keeping cloth shape versus whatever, because we have limited time left. I only have 15 minutes to do makeup and throw her into iClone. Let's delete the other top here. What happened? Oh, there we go. Sports bra. Goodbye. Some people do complain that we have nudity sometimes in the webinars, so I just throw on one thing on top of the other here. skirts, I believe it's in, is the next one here. Yep, there we go. And we have this cool pirate wench skirt. I like the word wench. Be thee gone, wench. And then we can, remove the underwear, keep it on or whatever. There's, where's that other underwear? This one here. We'll just throw in some matching underwear underneath. This one we can fit body shape. Default. Basically anything that's like tight fitting on your character, you can just select fit body shape and it'll adjust that the right way. I think that's this one that we don't need. Okay, cool. So character is all set up for export. We could throw shoes on her, but who cares? We're not going to be able to see her feet anyways, really. Okay, so let's do some finalization on the makeup, and then we'll quickly export her to iClone. So I'm going to go to content here, and skin. Let's just throw in a skin base. No, we'll do basically everything with the makeup, I think. One thing that I could do, since she's kind of like an evil person or evil witch or whatever, we can go to morphs and activate our morph slider up here. We can bring those cheeks in like this. You can see, make them pretty more gaunt looking. Okay, we could take the chin out like this a bit more. Make it a bit pointier. Okay, maybe make the nose a bit uglier as well. Let's bring it out a bit. We had a little bump on the nose there. Bring the, there you go. She can't look too pretty. She's a necromancer. Okay, I think that looks gaunt enough. And again, if you want to modify the morph shapes of your character's face, you just go to modify, and the morph sliders are all up here. And there's gazillions of morphs that you can modify, especially under headshot. There's tons and tons of stuff. I'm not going to mess around with these too much, since that's not really the focus, but we'll take the morph slider or morph gizmo off, and we'll work with this. Okay. Content. We're going to go straight to makeup. Okay. And under full makeup, we can apply full makeup templates right here. This would make it easy. Went to like special, for example. There's all these kind of cool ones. And again, this is the makeup and SFX content pack. That's a separate purchase. There's this cool Joker one. Lady Joker, aka what's her name? All the girls dress up for Halloween. Harley Quinn. There's like Necromancer right here. We could just throw this one on really easily, but I'll show you how to do it all kind of in separate ones. Foundation makeup for this character, we're going to use it for sure. Foundation. Let's just do a full head of foundation because we want to make her kind of pale. All right. And foundation is the best way to make your character to pale. Oh, and there's one thing I want to throw on top of there as well. We want to make her eyes a bit more gaunt. We'll have to switch back to skin mode after this from our foundation, from our makeup mode. What's taking the foundation so long? Oh, I guess we're loading up the SkinGen mode here again. And then I'll just throw on some really quick eye makeup, and then we'll export to iClone. So I can actually load up iClone here. So you can see how it makes it significantly whiter, okay, just like this. If you have a very gaunt character, you may want to emphasize that. Content, another thing we'll do is contour. Let's just emphasize her cheekbones by throwing in concave cheek there. And in contour, what it'll do is it'll create some very natural skin toned contour. Since this character doesn't really care too much about her makeup, we're going to change the color here. We're actually change the saturation and the darkness here. So you can see when that happens, now we have a bit more, shadows, like natural kind of like gaunt looking shadows on the face. All right, so that's one way to do it. We don't need makeup. We don't need highlights. Let's just go to eye makeup, eyeliners here. There's some makeup and SFX stuff that is really cool in here. The one that I want to use is this wipe one here. Okay, so now she's looking creepier as we go along here, and I can increase that opacity to whatever I want. I can also go down here to the blur and expansion. We can expand that down further if we want. Okay, let's make it a little bit lower down. Content, and we'll go to eyeshadow. We don't want any of these glamorous ones. We want the witch eyeshadow. And then we'll just do, we won't worry about the eyeshadow here. There we go. See the result right there. And we can also expand that if we want. It kind of expands to the bottom there. We'd probably want to take the UV, bring it up a little bit, but we're not going to worry too much about that right now. I'm just going to move on to other things since I don't want to tweak the, you kind of get the point. I don't want to tweak all this stuff. Lip makeup, let's give her black lips. And just the black lips are only in the makeup and SFX. There we go, poison lips. Okay, and I think, you know, that's pretty much all we're going to do. Miscellaneous, there's some other stuff like tribal paint and whatnot. The one thing I did want to do, though, is go to skin here. And we want to, under coloration. Coloration is probably, in my opinion, coloration is probably the best part of the best way to make your character look more natural. And I really especially like this one under the Realistic Human Skin pack for eyes specifically. This is one called Dull Skin Eye. If we double click on that, it'll basically remove the makeup. Well, it'll take us back to the skin mode here without the makeup. And the dull skin eye, I applied on the arm. Make sure you're on the character's head, okay? And you can see here, this one has a very nice effect, I think, personally, for making your character look really tired. So I'll pump that up quite a bit. And then we'll just go to makeup here, and we'll see what it looks like. It'll be a little bit better with that, that stuff on it. You can see underneath the makeup. All right, cool. I think she's looking creepy enough. All right, so let's just throw her into iClone now. We can load up iClone. There we go. And I'm going to basically show you some quick lighting and how to make a creepy scene in iClone. If we're in here, we might as well go back to our, we can edit poses. We can go to our content and give our character a thoughtful pose, maybe. Let's do something like ponder. Something that looks maybe creepier than that. You can like this. What you can do is you can also change the atmosphere. So if you go up here to the atmosphere button here in the toolbar, we can do something like something a bit creepier, like shadow, like this dark one here, for example. Okay, it doesn't really look that dark. You know, it could be darker, in my opinion. But you can also always adjust the values here in your scene for the different lights. Okay, do like this one, for example, we can take out certain lights and have shadows in different areas. All right, that one might be kind of cool. And right now they're all casting shadows, but iClone has a bit more flexibility in terms of. Let's see if it's loading up. Yeah, it's loading up in the background there. iClone has a bit more flexibility in terms of lighting. I'm going to show you that really quickly here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to load in this. Where is it here? I have this abandoned hospital content pack. This is a smart gallery, by the way, which has some really cool stuff in there. Let's make this a little bit further over. there is a some presets, some preset stuff in here. Or is it the morgue? Okay, so I'm gonna apply that morgue. Oh, what the heck? Let's go down to the morgue. Sorry, my mouse just kind of jumped there. All right, let's apply this morgue to our scene. And we'll spend the next 5 minutes doing lighting. And we'll just do a really creepy animation and have our character's eyes light up, which I'll show you, which is pretty cool. All right, so where's the morgue here? It's over here somewhere. Now, okay, the interior of this morgue is kind of small. So what I recommend doing, you can see we can zoom out really quick and it's boom, we're out. So what I recommend doing is creating a camera. Create camera here, and then go make your camera length at like something really low, or focal length at something really low, like 20 millimeters. And then you can see you have a bit more flexibility, or it just allows you to see more of the room. All right, and what I can do now is I'll just export this character to iClone. You can do that by going up here, send character to iClone. Of course, we're going to exit SkinGen mode again. And then in iClone, I'll give you a whirlwind tour about how to create creepy lighting. I might go a little bit over time, so apologies for that, but the end result is pretty cool. All right, so it's going to load our character. It's not going to load in the morgue. Unfortunately, this morgue is, when you load it in, it's basically not near the center of the your center of your scene there, your origin point. But what I'll do is we'll load her in and get the lights set up really quick, and then her eyes are going to be adjusted. All right, so she's way up here. We can just basically go align, use this one here, align to. Let's go over here, X, Y, Z. Should put her somewhere close to the middle. Okay, and then press F. And that's apparently the center of the morgue. All right, so we'll go over here into the morgue. Well, looks creepy. She's like floating away from us. She looks like, all right, anyways, we'll bring her back down to earth here and rotate her around. Let's make sure she's at like 90 degrees facing us. Oh, maybe minus 180 in this case. Zoop. Oh, what am I doing here? Here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all the lights. In a different context, it sounds a little bit sexy, but in this context, it's going to be creepy. So I'll just take all these lights here, delete them. All right, we'll just keep the floor shadow on, and you'll notice that, hey, there's actually still some lights going on. What I'm going to do before I turn off the IBL is what it's called. I'm going to create some scene lights here. You can see at the top, there's these little lights up here. So I'm going to create a light, and we're going to create a spotlight. And there it appears over here. Let's just bring it closer to our scene. Or is it? You can also align this to our character just to make things easy on us. And zoop. There we go. And let's make sure the direction of this light is directly down. So 0 rotation. Okay. And we're going to basically just place it right above, right at the point of this light here. Right below this light. Just like so. Okay. And I'm going to increase the range of this light. We're going to, you can see we increase the multiplier. Let's make it to maybe like 4 or something like that. We're going to increase the shadow darkness and shape none. The angle will make it a little bit narrower like this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, since we have that light all set up, I'm going to go to my visual tab here, we're going to go to down to IBL here. We're just going to deactivate the IBL. And that's basically what's keeping our scene lit. You can see the IBL. We can take the strength down to whatever we want, something a bit smaller, but I'm going to take it down to absolutely nothing because this is a very creepy scene. Okay, and then we can better see the angle of our spotlight there. Okay, and maybe a little bit better like that. Have a little bit of a fall off. Okay, cool. You can see everything's going to start looking pretty creepy. What I can do to copy those lights is I can just press hold the control key and click and drag. And it's going to generate another light that's exactly the same as that one. And we'll place this one over here, just like that. And then finally, we have to rotate our camera the other direction here. We'll have one more. Control, click and drag. And we have one final light over here. Okay, so those lights are all set up in our scene here. And now you can see it's starting to look a little bit creepy, except those annoying light lines. We'll just make all those invisible. Let's bring our character a little bit forward here. Okay, so now you can see it's looking a little bit creepier there, like a Marilyn Manson type character. I'm also going to go to the visual tab here and fix my shadows a little bit. So we want ambient occlusion. We'll go over here to shadows. And I like to have strong shadows, just like this. Okay, I like to increase the strength to fairly high levels. You can also increase the global darkness multiplier as well. I tend to have a lower bias. If we have really dark shadows, we want them to be fairly accurate. So maybe -1 or -2 for your bias. And you want to increase your resolution maybe to 2048, okay? So now we have more accurate shadows like this. Now, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my character's eyes here. Now, one thing I forgot to do is change the eyes in Character Creator 3 to the default eyes, but you can also do that in iClone, thankfully. So if you go over to our content manager, under avatar, under head, or rather under body part there, we have eyes, or it's under CC eyes rather. And these are the same eyes that we have in Character Creator 3. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because if you look at these eyes right now, if I select the eyes and I go to materials, notice they are the old, it automatically assigns them as PBR eyes. And that's not good. There's also an option to enhance the eyes in Character Creator 3. But basically the main thing is we want to replace these eyes with whatever eyes, whatever color we want, hazel, doesn't matter. And you can see they look quite significantly different. These eyes are more optimized for catching reflections and stuff in iClone. But we're going to replace a couple things with the eyes. We're going to start off with the right eye here. We're going to adjust the, we're going to put a glow map here for this eye. We're going to have a glow map. We're going to have the eye red. And then we're going to change our opacity here to, we're going to put this glow mask right here. And you can see currently nothing's changed. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and take the opacity up to 100. And then you can see we have a glowing red eye. Dun, dun, dun. Looks pretty cool and pretty creepy. I'll just do the same thing for the left eye. Okay, really quickly. Load that in, the opacity map, the glow map. And then you want to take your eyes opacity up here to 100. And boom, there we have, now we have these creepy eyes kind of staring at us from the abyss or whatever, I don't know. Okay, let's take that multiplier up. So now we have extremely, high contrast shadows, and we have a creepy looking character like this that's going to walk towards us in this creepy looking morgue. Okay, so the final thing I'll do is I'll just apply a couple of motions to our character. First, we have the camera active. Okay, so let's just go to our content manager, motions. There is something called it's a decidedly not creepy motion called City Life here. Walk. I just found this one's kind of a slow, nice, slow walk. Female wander, just like this. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach our camera to our character. So we'll go over here to scene, select our camera, and we're going to just link the camera to the character. We can also use depth of field if we want, but pick parent, pick our character here. And we don't want to use the head because that'll rotate the camera all over the place. Let's go to link to here, and we're going to choose our base, the bone root at the very bottom there. Okay. And press OK. So what's going to happen now? Well, let's have our character first and have the character look at the camera. So look at camera. Oh, we need to have the look at first. So let's take our camera and unlink the camera first and have our character. This is a kind of a weird thing you have to do first. So you have to have the character look at the camera first. And you can choose, you know, head or eyes more. Okay, I'll just choose head in this case more because it looks creepier. And then we'll go to camera, and then we can link the camera. And bone root. Okay. So now if I move my camera, whoops, around my character, it looks super creepy. We're going to make her head go 360. Oh, that's nasty. All right, cool. Doesn't actually go all the way 360 because the bones don't allow it to, but there you go. Okay, so then we play back. There you go. She's walking towards us like that. And it looks super creepy, in my opinion. So you can just play back. And you can only see the eyes at some point like there. And then maybe she starts like this, and then she could do something like, "Rah-ha-ha." Anyways, okay. That's your Halloween scare for October 20th. So we're going to get to the Q&A section right here. If you have any questions, now's the time to put those in the Q&A section. And I'll be happy to answer anything you've got going on. All right, so let's jump into it with the, we have a couple of questions up here already. Subdiacon, is it also possible to export from CC3 to DAZ 3D? Absolutely, it is possible to go from CC3 to DAZ 3D. The easiest way to do that is just export to FBX again, and then import. Basically, you can go back and forth with all of them. A simple enough process. Hopefully that answers your question there. Again, guys, put your questions in the Q&A panel, not in the chat window, because I'm not going to be taking a look at the chat window at all right now. Excuse me. Next question from Stephanie. Do the morphs in DAZ import in with the DAZ character? Yeah, they do. The facial morphs change. I think here, the facial morphs basically get converted, but all the morphs basically import in from the DAZ character. That's right. All right, next question here. Adam Flynn asks, will the transformer tool properly move over props or entire sets, basically to then move over into iClone with all the PBR materials connected? And Adam, unfortunately, I can't, we don't have that available right now. The transformer tool is only available for G3 and G8 characters. However, we are working on, we're busting our backs, I guess you can say, working on a way to get entire props and entire sets over from DAZ into iClone. The way you can do it right now, I mean, you can technically just export them and import them in 3D Exchange. That does work in most ways, most methods. But again, there may be some material tweaking because as you saw with Transformer, and the reason I always recommend using Transformer is because we spent a lot of time making it kind of like a one-to-one transfer, so you don't have to modify any of the materials. You don't have to, load in material maps and adjust UVs and all that stuff. That's what makes it so good, is the Transformer tool allows you to do it really quick. But right now, in terms of sets and props and stuff, you'd have to take that through 3D Exchange. And in this case, you wouldn't have to have 3D Exchange pipeline. You would just have the Pro version is fine to import into iClone. But again, it would possibly require you to readjust some materials. But again, if you go to that same runtime folder that I went to earlier, you should have all those materials available. You just may have to load some of them in again in some cases. All these different programs have all sorts of different material settings. Gosh darn it. And we can't keep up with all of them. So next question is from Cheryl. Why did the ears turn so red on the second import? Probably due to the subsurface scattering. If we go to our character, let's see here. Let's remove her hair. She's going to look even creepier. Might not have been this character. Might have been another character. But oh, maybe if we change the atmosphere a little bit. Let's go to. Let's try the rear light one. Should probably emphasize. So yeah, so you can see here it's fairly red. When light is coming from the back, subsurface scattering on the digital human shader basically creates sort of a glow on the ears. So it's not like they're red. It's more of a glow on the lights on the ears there. Like for example, this one has a backlight. You can see the difference right there. If we have this backlight active, it sort of glows up there on the ear. And here's a better example. If we just have that single light, that's basically where the light is coming from. And if we adjust the value of this light here, you can see right there, we can make more of it red or less of it red. That's just what's called subsurface scattering. Okay, so it's just think of it as the light kind of going through the ear. All right. Let's go to the next question. Next question is from Cheryl. Is it possible to make CC3 hair look less like a wig? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but there's a lot of things you can do to modify the hair in terms of physics, in terms of material settings, but most of them don't really look like wigs, hopefully. Although, you know, hair is probably the next frontier of you know, realistic human elements on your characters, like video game characters and stuff. The only problem with hair is it's super high resource. Like the geometry of hair is fairly complex, lots of physics interactions. So hair is probably the biggest pain in the butt for most animators. I'm sure any real animators can probably tell you the same thing. Let's just move on to the next one for now, though. Larnell asks, where do you get the best animation file? So for those of you who are not familiar with the content store, I should have it saved somewhere. There we go. There's also the marketplace, marketplace.reallusion.com. So for those of you who are maybe new to Reallusion, the difference between the content store here and the marketplace is the marketplace, basically anyone can publish anything they want. Of course, there is, you know, certain things that you can't publish. We've taken stuff off before, but you can basically publish anything you want here. It's not really curated by Reallusion. We kind of trust our developers to be sensible and publish what they want here. However, the stuff in the marketplace, although you'll get stuff coming out faster in the marketplace, like really fast, there'll be stuff like new stuff every week, every day almost in the marketplace. We don't really assess all the quality of it. So it's not, we don't provide customer service for it. You have to get the customer service from the developer themselves. And you can sign up for the marketplace and you can start publishing tomorrow if you want. In terms of the content store, this is essentially where we have content that's more curated by Reallusion. We've tested all the stuff that's in the content store, and oftentimes in the content store we put together big bundles of content where you can you buy more content and you get a higher discount. Marketplace, you can buy individual things. Like if you go to like iClone and you want to buy an individual motion, you can go here to like motions, for example, and you know, here you can buy like a hug. This is a free hug. Hey, free hugs, everyone. You can just get this hug because it's free. It's 0 DA points, okay? And DA points you have to purchase. It's kind of like a token, like it's our proprietary money in the marketplace. Okay, and swim front crawl. This one's like 300, which is like is that $3 I think or something? Yeah. Yeah, 100 DA points is $1 US. So all these different ones here, individual motions, and again, you can see it's a smorgasbord of stuff. So, you know, just be aware that you can buy individual stuff here, and in the content store, if you go to iClone and you go to like motion down here, you know, this mostly just content packs that are full of you know, various different motions. Like the city life one. This is the one I used today for that walking towards the camera motion. So you can see here, this includes like a number of different motions, like phone motions, chat motions, interaction. And you can test this out on your own time. But there's a whole bunch of motions, and you can see it's like a bundle deal right here. All right, so those are the best places to get animations and other content from us. Highly recommend checking out the content store. Okay, next question is from Tanja. Is it possible to make hair look wet? Yeah, it's possible for sure. What you can do is basically increase the metallic. Let's go, we're in Character Creator 3 here. Forgot what program I'm in. Let's bring our hair back online and change our atmosphere a little bit. Let's change it to top light. That should do. If I wanted to make the hair look wetter in this case, what I would do is just make sure it's selected first, and maybe go over to the hair section here like this, and go to our metallic or our roughness, and we can make our roughness less bright. Okay, so we take our roughness down. You can see the hair will look a lot more oily, just like this. That's one way to make it look wetter. And we can balance that with the metallic, make the metallic brighter or less bright as well. It's not having much of an effect in this case, but should have some effect at least. So the roughness slider is a bit more of an effect. But then to top that off, you can balance it out maybe by going down here, further down into your settings, like the texture settings here, and where is it here? Oh, the parameters. Sorry, didn't open that up. Yeah, specular strength right here has a slightly different effect. There's secondary specular. Hair roughness map. Okay, if we took that down, then you can see the results. Looks very, very, very shiny. Again, this is kind of an extreme example, but I just wanted to show you. Almost looks a little bit too wet. Maybe increase that roughness there. Transmission is not going to have too much of an effect, but just mess around with these sliders basically. I'd probably want to take this roughness down a bit. It's a little too extreme. Something like that would make it look a little bit wet. Okay, that's what I would recommend. I also forgot to put blood on this character's face. In case you're wondering, you can also do like a blood in the makeup section. There is a, where is it? Or is that one in, getting where the blood is here? It's not under camouflage. No, it's in the skin. All right, we'll take care of that later. Anyways, Q&A. Next question is from Gerardo. How can you put weights in mustache or eyebrows for animation in Character Creator? So weight maps are kind of a fun thing. Not really. I hate weight maps. Anything to do with physics is kind of annoying to me. But let's say, for example, because I get asked this question pretty often, and I'm not really good at it, but I'm going to show you the process. Let's go ahead and load up that previous hair that we had. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this Leico hair here. And we did save that hair from character creator, or from Daz rather. Where is it? Pop it up. There we go. Hair, cool stuff. There we go. Okay, so let's say, for example, I took this hair here into iClone. Now, this hair is not going to have physics. So what you have to do in iClone is, let's see if I can find this and apply it to my character. I don't think we can apply that in iClone. So I'll just take this full character into iClone here. Let's make sure our iClone character is not selected. And let's do it. It's creeping me out. There we go. If we go over here to auxiliary light, that just gives us the light we need. Let's import in the this character with the other hair. And once she's in, we'll go back to our preview camera and we'll talk about hair physics. The fun stuff. Okay. Where is she? All right. So here's the hair. Whoops. From Daz. Okay. So it looks decent. Looks fine, right? But what we need to do is, if we apply an animation to this character, like oh shoot, preview camera. If I apply an animation to this character, like let's go to the content manager, something that maybe she's moving, evolution of dance from the 1980s. Oh, I don't know. Billie Jean dance. Okay. So you can see that, you know, the skirt is moving and everything, but her hair is staying stationary. Okay. Now, if you want to apply Daz motions, or physics rather, to the Daz hair, what you need to do is make sure you have the hair selected. And do we have the hair selected? Nope. There we go. And go into physics here, and you can see we don't have any physics. So if we go to activate physics, they'll say it has multiple materials. Please select a material first and load a gray map image. Okay, so it'll basically bring up all the materials. These are all the parts of our hair. I'll show you bangs, for example. Bangs right here. If we want to find out, I'm going to load up Photoshop here in the background. If we want to find out where we need to apply the weight map to, we need to load up the UV map. And a weight map is basically just a monochromatic white and black map here. So if we load up the weight map here, we press this button down here. This is the UV reference for bang 01, for example. You can see it'll load up the UV map. And right here, this is basically the parts of the bangs. These are the bangs, okay? So down here, the bottom area is the tips of the hair, and up here is where the hair connects to the skull. So what we want to do is the area that's white, we want to kind of have that area heavier, more white. So what I'm going to do really quick here is have an example. If we select bangs 1 and we just load in a weight map, let's just double click on the weight map here and load in this one. What is it? This one here. So notice right here, if we launch this weight map, and we maybe just let's copy it and paste it onto our UV, and we make it less opacity, you'll see where basically the tips of the hair there. Okay, so this is where the weight map is the heaviest. Okay, so this area here. So we want the tips to be very white, and areas that we don't want to move, we want those to be very black. Okay, so this would actually make it probably a pretty decent weight map for this UV here. Let's go ahead and just test that out. If we go back into iClone, let's make bangs 1 and bangs 2. Let's load in that same weight map there. And what should happen now is we should see the bangs bounce around a little bit. Okay, you can see, yeah, the bangs are kind of moving around. She's moving fairly fast. Let's try and find a motion that maybe where she's not moving around so much. Can't touch this. Oh, that's the one where he goes side to side, right? Oh, crap, we got to select the character. MC Hammer. I am old enough to recall that. Okay, so you can see the bangs, the physics, they're moving around. If I just pause it, you can see, yeah, they're kind of like flown off to one side there. Okay, the bangs are. That indicates that, hey, we've successfully, transferred that over. So that's essentially what you need to do. It takes a little bit of trial and error to get everything right. Whoops. Adjusting the, for example, if I wanted to start one from scratch, what I would do is I would just, let's just delete this layer for now. What I would do is I would just go create a box, maybe like a rectangle tool, and I would use the fill option, like this one right here, like the gradient. Okay, and I would probably just click and drag and make a triangle over top, or a rectangle over top of this, and fill it like that. Now we want to adjust that to a different angle, like this. And then you'd maybe want to slightly make it like this, adjust the level of whiteness, something a little bit less, so on and so forth, get all this stuff taken care of. And then I would, whoops, just enter and save that. And just save it as a PNG. Or desktop. Cool weight map. And that would essentially be kind of similar, I think, to the one that we just loaded in. We could test it out by going down to weight maps again, bangs 1. Let's just load this one in. This one might be a bit more wild because it's a lot whiter than the previous one. Okay, and I probably made it too white. But let's take a look at what this one does. And again, it's taking a bit longer because of the weight maps. So you can see it's too strong, right? So it's essentially going around way too much. You can see right here, it's flowing quite well because we have more white, but it's actually going through her skull. So what we want to do is we want to take that down a little bit. We want to make it darker in this area here, and maybe only have just make the entire thing darker in general. And if we wanted to tweak that in iClone, we could by going to weight map. And again, we could adjust the brightness like here manually, something like this. Take bangs 1 and take the brightness down like that. You can increase the contrast or decrease the contrast. Maybe this would be a bit of a better result, I think. But again, it's just that's what kind of why I hate weight maps, because you just go back and forth and try to find the right balance for your dad's hair. And okay, so that one's better. Okay, not terrible. You can see it's still going through her head a little bit there. I'm not sure if I have collision on, soft and rigid collision. And again, if you want the ideal result for your physics, you want to change from real time, you want to change to frame by frame. Okay, when you're actually rendering and recording and baking your physics, you want to change this to frame by frame. This is just to kind of see the example. If you change it to by frame playback mode and you bake it, it'll be a better result. All right, not going through the skull as much. And it's basically tweaking all those things in combination. Okay, and the same thing for mustaches and whatnot. All right, that was the next question, I guess. Jelani Lewis had asked me, adding physics to imported Daz hair. Kind of just showed how to do that. Michael asks, where are those eye masks that you use located at in iClone 7? They don't have those eye masks. I just basically created them myself. If you want to create those eye masks yourself, what you can do is just export basically the character's eye maps. So like this. Materials over here. Oh, this is the other character. This is the crappy character. Let's delete her. Whoops. Where are you? Here we go. Holy crap, her neck is twisted. Oh, that's because where you're, oh, you need to change back to our camera there. Okay. I pressed the J hotkey, by the way, to have our character look at us. Okay, the J hotkey is basically focuses on the character's head. And then, okay. Anyways, so for your character's eyes, go to materials, and basically what you can do is you can just take the base color map and launch it. Let's launch over it in Photoshop. Like this, and just basically take a circle, sphere, and make it white. Like that. Dang it. I'm gonna fill it with white. There we go. Okay. And then just, you know, have a background that's black. Come on. Goodness gracious. There we go. There's your opacity map for your eye. Okay, and then if you want to, you know, have the red glow or the white glow or whatever kind of color you want, just do this. Change this to I don't know. How about a nice yellow glow? Or if we just, you know, took our character like this, and for our glow we changed from red to white, you'll see it'll have a kind of a white look like that, which is pretty cool. And here you can still see some of the iris details as well. And you can even go further in there in the eyes and adjust all these values for the eyes as well. Which one would have an effect here? Iris color brightness. Okay, you can see the iris on the left eye there. Pupil scale, you can make that larger, smaller. Again, don't worry too much about these. Advanced, this is kind of like for reflection of light, so you're not going to get that obviously with no light in the scene, or no light shining on the eye anyways. Sclera brightness, yeah, that'll be the background there. Everything's basically covered up by this glow. So if we took the glow and just why is it adjusting the left eye? That's weird. Thought I had the right eye selected. Oh, because we can't really see. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's just change this back to red to keep things consistent. There we go. Anyways, all those values can be messed around with. Self-illumination, you don't want that because it looks weird. Use the glow map. Okay, I'm not gonna stop messing around here. Benjamin asks, do you have any tutorials on how to work with Daz hair and iClone physics? Yeah, the reason I kind of went into detail on the physics just previously was because I got a lot of questions for that already. So I tried to show you the kind of haphazard way to apply Daz physics to your character's hair, or Daz physics to your Daz character's hair, your Daz hair. And just to add on to that as well, some people ask about there's collision shapes as well in iClone. So if we just change our preview camera here, just in case, and let's make our light. Let there be light. Also involved with the hair, there is the, did I select the hair? There we go. Okay. The collision shapes on the character. Oh, we don't want to select the character or the hair actually. Select the character, and there are collision shapes down here. No, not in materials. Down here we have collision shapes. Okay, so these are basically the physics shapes for collision on your character. Let's make the hair invisible for now. Goodness sakes. Okay, so a collision shape right here, you can see there's a capsule in the head. Press the R hotkey, we can expand that. Okay, so this is basically the physics collision shape for the head. Anything that hits this shape theoretically should bounce off. Okay, sometimes you may need to adjust these significantly, depending on, there's, that's why I kind of hate physics. I did really well in high school, but, computer hair physics and cloth physics and stuff kind of grind my gears sometimes. But you do, you can add another capsule as well. Sometimes it's good to layer two capsules over the one capsule over the other, because it's dual protection, I guess you can call it, from interaction from breakage into the character's head mesh. But you can add them like this. You can just press add shape, and boom, there's another shape, and you can move that around if you want. And you can delete it if you want, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to spend time messing around too much with physics, so I'm just going to show you that, and you can explore it on your own time. Okay, let's go back to questions. Peter asks, can Genesis 8 eyebrows be imported into Character Creator 3 Plus? Yep, they definitely can. Again, the method to doing that would be the first method that I showed you, baking the materials. Okay. Daniel asks, how much will it cost for all the tools needed, like a rough estimate? So Character Creator 3 itself, the pipeline version is, I think, like $199, I think. We can find out. And that's the main tool that you need. Character Creator 3 pipeline allows you to export FBX. It allows you to, you can import Daz stuff in from FBX format. That's essentially all you need as a base, so $199. And then there's like add-on stuff like the SkinGen Premium. The difference with SkinGen Premium, there's a few differences. It allows you to customize your own skin maps. So if you're not aware, we have a kind of a competition going on. I'm pretty sure it's still in the latter. Yeah, this digital human contest right here, going until November 18th. So if you want to get results like this, you're going to need Premium, because what this guy did is basically Sefki Ibrahim right here. He essentially customized his own maps and brought in all sorts of custom maps in Character Creator 3. So this takes a significant amount of time to do, but you can do it with Character Creator 3 Premium like he did. He did basically all this in Character Creator 3, and yeah, so you can definitely get that result. But you would need the Premium version to import in your own custom maps. The default template stuff might not be good enough to do that. Yeah, so the Character Creator 3 by itself, I think it's $199. Again, if you go to products, Character Creator. There you go. If you're a member, it's a little bit cheaper, $149. But then I recommend getting these bundles down here as well, like Headshot, and the SkinGen Premium. This is this one right here. And we launched a number of different content packs with SkinGen Premium as well. The Makeup and SFX, which I used. The Realistic Human Skin, which is, I think, quintessential. I really recommend picking that up, even if just getting it by itself. But generally, you'll get a cheaper price if you buy it all together. So just be aware of that. And then there's the Morph, the Anatomy characters, which, those are 12 really unique, cool-looking characters. And you can find those in Character Creator 3 under your projects. Here, under Avatar, I believe. They're under, I'm in the Custom tab, that's why. Human Anatomy here, these avatars. Yeah, these are like some really cool, amazing characters that, yeah, they're in that folder. I highly recommend picking that up anyways. That's really, I mean, to do what I did today, that's essentially all you need. You don't even need the Morph pack. You don't need the Human Anatomy pack. Just CC3 Character Creator 3 Premium, which, like you saw, was like $149, $199. Depending on if you already have iClone software, you'll differ in price because there's upgrade algorithms and all that fun stuff. And let me think. Yeah, that's essentially all you need, to be honest. iClone, obviously, I think is like $199 or something like that too, if you wanted to bring into iClone. But yeah, not too expensive in the end to do what I did today. Just that makeup is essentially what I, messed around a lot with, and the if you want to add more normal maps and all that fun stuff to the skin, then you can go ahead and do that. Next question. A lot of questions today. Stephanie asks, where do I save Character Creator characters so I can use them multiple times in iClone or a Unreal Engine? So the easiest way to save your character, just in the Content tab, go over here to, you can go to Project. I recommend saving as a project. Going to Custom here and save it as an avatar project here. Like if I wanted to save this as an avatar, you can include the clothing. I think the main avatar folder just includes both. Press the plus button here. Call it like Necro Chick. Okay, that would be basically saved, and you can load that in all the time. Because when you save it as an avatar, all the layers are preserved. Okay, so the SkinGen layers are preserved, so you can modify those later on. That's what I recommend doing. iClone's the same thing. You can just go to iClone, go to your content, go to actor up here, custom avatar, and save. Now, once the character is selected, you can save. Now, keep in mind that when you save in iClone, it's not going to preserve those the SkinGen layers and everything, because once you export to iClone, everything gets baked essentially. Like we went to materials, for example, right now, we just have the single body material. Okay. You can still modify a few things, but there's no layers that you can mess around with. It's all baked. Next question. Ray asks, are there certain DAZ characters that just don't import into CC3? I didn't get a chance to respond to that second email. I didn't take a look at it yet, Ray, but there are certain DAZ characters that don't import into CC3. If you have a G3 or G8 character, it should be 100% fine, but other characters may have issues. And there are, if you follow the procedure that I showed today, there shouldn't be any issues for any G8 characters or G3 characters. There may be certain exceptions, but again, that would be on a case-by-case basis, and it may be a little bit tricky to troubleshoot that. And I'll get to that email a little bit later. But next one's from John here. John Reed, do the CC3 lights come on automatically to iClone, and can they be turned off so they won't import into iClone? So the lights don't import in from CC3 to iClone, just so you're aware. You don't import anything in terms of lights from CC3 to iClone, because iClone has much more comprehensive lighting system. So there's no real need to import in Character Creator 3 lights into iClone. So Peter von Stackelberg is asking beards and peach fuzz, etc. So you can there's a lot of beard templates you can throw in. If we go to our skin over here, body hair, whoops, we're in custom there. Body hair, for example, there's some beard stuff. So these are the beard templates that come with Character Creator 3. So if I wanted to give my character a heavy stubble, she's gonna look real freaky now. Yeah, you can just apply that, and they're all found here. And there's various parameters that you can use in the beard templates to modify that as well. When it comes to long flowing beards like that Kung Fu guy on Kill Bill, for example, you have to use actual hair. And that would be, again, go through the process that I showed you earlier, where you would import that hair as an accessory and then just apply a physics weight map to it. Yeah, so that's basically answering that question. It's just loading up SkinGen here, so it's not really important that we see what she looks like, I guess, although it's kind of humorous. But that's answering your question there, Peter. Charles asks, where do we find Genesis 8 characters in DAZ and CC3? So if you go to the DAZ content store, they have lots of G8 characters. Like you can even just search probably from Google, DAZ G8 characters. There you can find some on Renderosity too. You can also purchase them from Renderosity. Yeah, DAZ G8 people. So these are all the bases in DAZ that are based off of, G8. Okay, so LOD, Gene, all this stuff. Okay, that's where you can find them in the DAZ store. Let's find out what she looks like with the beard. Wow, looking good. Okay. Anywho, so then you can go to beard hair and beard base. You can see there's 2 layers to modify the beard and all kinds of stuff you can modify. Whoops, what are you doing here? Yeah, darken it, lighten it, whatevs. Okay, let's go to the next question. Robert, do you have to have the plugin to do this, or is it in Character Creator 3 pipeline already? Oh, wait. Okay, so let me look back here. Character Creator 3. Yeah, so the SkinGen Premium plugin. The SkinGen Premium plugin, I believe, sorry, I'm going to go back on what I said before. The SkinGen Premium plugin is a separate item. That's a separate plugin. So it'll be the $199 for Character Creator 3, and the SkinGen Premium plugin, I think, is, oh my gosh. Add-ons, here we go, SkinGen Premium plugin. This one right here. So this is with the 4-in-1 bundle, so you get this price for the 4-in-1. If it's standalone, it's like $79 or $99, depending on your account status. All right, so to go back on that previous question, sorry guys, there's an extra $79 on there from what I said earlier. So apologies for that. Yeah, you do need the SkinGen Premium plugin because I didn't really do anything, although today I didn't do anything with the Premium plugin. I don't believe so. No, I think you could actually do what I did today without the Premium plugin. So, but the Premium plugin allows for much more customization. Okay, so Robert, and to get details on that, there's a comparison somewhere. There's a few things, but it's mainly just the ability to load in your own custom maps and a few other things. There's unlimited layers. I think the regular version is limited to 20 layers, which is, more often than not all you'll need if you can be creative with it. So, I mean, you could get creative and save money, save like $70 or $80, whatever. Next question from Robert. Do you have to have the plugin? Oh, this is the one I just answered. Okay. Yeah, so the transformer comes with premium, not premium, sorry, pipeline, Character Creator 3 pipeline. Next question from the Logic Warrior. You can actually import in DAZ environments over everything is its own separate object, not grouped. Yeah, you can do that technically. So the Logic Warrior here is just mentioning here that you can actually import in DAZ environments one by one. Everything is its own separate object and not grouped. Yeah, because it's 64-bit versus 3D Exchange only being 32-bit. It's possible. Okay, so that's a good little tidbit there. Next question is from Jose. Is it possible to save a character or prop as GLBF for WebXR usage? No, unfortunately not. You can't do that right now at this point, possibly in the future, but that's not something that I don't think we're working on that specifically right now. So again, if there's any features that you want to have in the future for iClone or Character Creator 3 or whatever, make sure you put those in our feedback form. We're always looking forward to the feedback form and stuff. So yeah, anything you want to see, throw it in that forum. That form, not forum. Okay. Next question, anonymous attendee. How close are you guys to iClone 8? What's the cost going to be for current iClone 7 users? So again, there's upgrade prices for current users. It's much cheaper than just buying it straight up. I can't speculate on the price right now. That's not really my department. But iClone 8 we're looking at next year possibly. Generally, I think it's going to be around Q4 sometime. I believe so. I don't think it's going to be earlier than that. Yeah, but we still have a bit of time to get to iClone 8. Next question from Jason. Can you discuss the DAZ to CC3 Plus pipeline for HD and sub-D characters coming from DAZ? Are those morphs supported? Now, in terms of that type of stuff, yeah, the morphs are all able to be imported back in from DAZ characters. I'm not sure about what specific morphs you might be talking about. But in terms of like the morphs should all be the same when you import them in, and you can also create your own morphs as well with your DAZ characters. Say for example, you want to apply a DAZ morph to a CC3 character, you can do that as well. There's a tutorial, I believe, on creating your own morphs. Let's see if we can find it here. Or they're called blend shapes, I believe. CC3 blend shape. Well, if we don't have one, someone else does. Do we call them morphs? This is probably like 2 years ago I did this. Morph creation. Luis Duarte did one. So you can probably look into this tutorial here. Yeah, so yeah, here's the one that I did like 4 years ago. Holy smokes. Okay, but the process is still the same. But this one here is essentially the process that you bake and edit your own morph sliders. I'd probably check this one out. Probably a bit more recent, 4 months versus 4 years. But yeah, this one definitely has all the whole process. I remember, but gosh, 4 years. I'm getting old. Our own morph sliders. I'll just share this one. But probably the Luis Duarte one is going to be a bit more updated, and he's definitely a pro. So a pro modeler as opposed to me, who just haphazardly throws stuff together. But yeah, generally what you do in Character Creator is you just yeah, so right now we can't really add CC3 or add HD characters or their body morphs in CC3, but we're going to be probably including that in CC4. I just got a note from the engineer here. So yeah, for HD characters, unfortunately, the body morphs not yet in CC3, but possibly CC4. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a good answer there. Walter asks, Walter de Brito Cunha, pretty cool name. Are we going to get some more Blender bridge tutorials soon? I'm actually going to be releasing some tutorials within the next week or so that are bridge tutorials for we're going to be launching something called Actor Core, which is basically sort of like we used to have with Mixamo, the online kind of database of motions. So we'll have something similar to that where you can just kind of download and test them on any character. That's going to be called Actor Core. Actor Core. And to correspond with that, I'm going to be launching a few tutorials, I think 5 or 6 tutorials on importing, going from Character Creator 3 and iClone to Blender. It's focused on motions, but there's also a character export aspect of it too. So stay tuned to the next week or so. We'll probably launch those. We have one for Unity, Unreal, Maya, Motion Builder, Blender, and 3ds Max. All right, so hopefully that covers everyone. Next question is from Adam. Is the fiber mesh hair something that will transfer over? Thanks. I mean, it will transfer over technically, but again, tweaking it is the name of the game when it comes to importing stuff, because like I mentioned, hair is the most annoying aspect of everything. So tweaking that kind of stuff is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But again, it's a case-by-case basis. All right, let's move to the next one here. Stephanie, I made several items of clothing in Marvelous Designer. Do I import them as OBJ accessory or FBX through the transformer? And what is the FBX key? Okay, so I kind of went through that a little bit. If you create, if you don't have so the cloth hair accessory option up here, this is only used if you export from CC3 and you want to bring back into CC3. Okay, so say, for example, I had a piece of clothing that I want to, change the textures on. I want to use Substance to really, spice it up a little bit. So I would export using this one here. Not using this one. I would go to File, Export, and Selected Content, and that would export as an FBX. We can also go upload to Sketchfab or GoZ. So this is the GoZ pipeline there. And then that's the way you would import it back in using this. Accessory is where you, if you saved out as an OBJ, like I just saved out from Daz. Yeah, and then you just basically transfer the skin weight. So that's, like I saved that hair item from Daz, you'd import it as an OBJ accessory. Then you don't have to deal with that darn FBX key, which can get in the way sometimes. Next question from Gerardo. How can I paint wave in eyebrows and mustache in Character Creator? Every time I put them in, I cannot animate properly in iClone. Well, eyebrows are something that you basically put in with in Character Creator 3. There's tons of options for eyebrows. Let's just do it right now. Let's get rid of her beard because that's creeping me out. Come on, there we go. So quickly onto the eyebrows. We'll go to the Content Manager, Makeup, eyebrows. Tons of different eyebrows in the Makeup and SFX, male trimmed. Let's just throw in something like elegant randomly. We can make her really beautiful if we wanted to within a few minutes. Just amazing how you can transform your character from one look to the next within a few minutes. Only you could do that in real life. Okay, so when I'm into makeup mode here, and those are the eyebrows. Again, with the eyebrows selected, lots of options for you. Brightness, hue, saturation, cut off like this, for example. You can make them like almost non-existent, thinner. You can sharpen them. That's just the various hairs within the eyebrow. Cut off contrast. Micro normals, pattern scale. I think pattern scale is probably, let's zoom in a little bit, it's closer. Yeah, so this scale would be larger and smaller. You can do them individually. You can adjust the rotation, offset, yada, yada, yada. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get an eyebrow setting that has any problem in iClone there. Okay, so next question from Pete. Can you give us an idea where to find the morphs or SkinGen values to make bags under a character's eyes? Just go to the morphs and, oh gosh, I can't really, to be honest, without just going around under eyes. Headshot has a bunch of ones that are really, really detailed. What I do to make my character's eyes look very gaunt is I just kind of generally try to push the eyes in a little bit and push the eyebrows out. So there's like a brow height or brow width, or no, what is it? Depth, I think. So brow depth, if you pump that out like that, you can see the brow depth. In or out, okay, flatten it or make it stronger. That's one that I really use quite a bit to, just to really make the eyes more inset and more like homely. But I can't really mess around with those too much. There's a ton that you can kind of go through, Pete. But in terms of like bagging under the eyes, there's literally hundreds of these, so I don't want to spend time going through them right now. I can't recall. I've done it before, but I can't recall at the moment. So that's unfortunate. I don't want to kind of just be going through that right now. I'm going to go to the next question from Jason. Is the hair coming over from Daz strand based once in CC3, or is it still utilizing cards? It's utilizing cards materials, I guess you can say. So it's no different, but again, there's different opacity settings and alpha transparency and stuff that you can mess around with because you're not going to get a one-to-one conversion some of the time. So there are certain things that you want to mess around with, but I guess technically it does convert those cards into different materials in iClone, but it's one single mesh in iClone or Character Creator 3. Is Reallusion working on some kind of hair tool? Indeed, we are working on more stuff for the hair. Like I mentioned earlier, the hair is kind of the next frontier for development, so you can expect some cool hair stuff in the near future here. Next question from Sui. Is it possible to add clothing from Marvelous Designer or Miku Miku Dance? Oh, not familiar with Miku Miku Dance. Yeah, I'm not sure about PMX format, but you would have to export to either OBJ or FBX. That's the only import options you have. So I'm not familiar with that MMD there. But yeah, the formats you'd have to have are FBX or OBJ for anything mesh related. Walter asked another question. Connection with real scenes and interaction with Reallusion and Mocha and other Boris software. Not yet. We don't have any like Mocha plugins or anything. So, but we do have the Python open API. So if you want to, create your own Python plugin with Mocha elements in it, you could probably do that. But unfortunately, we don't have anything working with Mocha right now. Tony Lee asks, how much does it cost to upgrade from regular CC3 to CC3 pipeline? I think it would just be that 149 because actually CC3, the regular version, it comes free with iClone. So yeah, it's kind of just it's like a free upgrade to like a pipeline upgrade. I think like it should be the same price I showed you before, 149 or whatever, or 199. Dan asks, is it possible to bring Daz Genesis 8 with geo-grafted parts into iClone with Transformer? I don't believe so. The geometry has to be consistent with base G8 characters. So any geo-grafted parts on, I don't think that'll come in properly. Unfortunately, Dan. Has to be consistent with the base G8 mesh. John Reed asks, does iClone hair physics work on export to other apps like Unreal or Unity? So what you can do is you can export in different formats. What's that format called? Oh, goodness sakes, just skipping my mind right now. But there is one format, Alembic, that's the one. So you can export to Alembic format and physics for the clothing and for the hair. So if you have a motion that you like the way it looks in iClone, you can export that in Alembic format to either of those. And that's from 3D Exchange. Keep in mind. So any motion related stuff exports from 3D Exchange. You can't export from Character Creator. You can also just go to File and export here Alembic from iClone as well. So again, this will maintain the physics for your character's hair and for the clothing. Alembic. However, I mean, if you're just doing like something that's non-interactive, that's totally fine. Exporting it with Alembic format. However, if you're producing a game that's interactive, it's not going to be much use, because what you'll want to use the embedded physics engine in Unreal or Unity. All right. Question from goodness sakes. Questions from Adam here. Any tricks with Transformer for dealing with baggy clothing, skin weights and stuff? Again, I'm not going to go into too much with skin weights, because that's a whole can of worms that I don't want to open right now. So I can't really give. In terms of physics, guys, it's a one-off basis. Like it's going to be different each time. So just keep that in mind, that there's no really one solution for every physics problem, just like in real life, I guess, right? Rowdy Brian asks, when can we see iClone 8? I think we'll be launching some preview stuff for iClone 8 possibly by the end of this year, so you can look forward to that. Anonymous attendee asks, how do the new JCMs work in UE4? Does it work automatically? I'm not sure what JCM stands for, so possibly you can refresh me on that. JCMs. It's kind of skipping my mind right now. So, but we do have the auto setup when you import your characters into Unreal or Unity. Unity auto setup, I think, is coming out pretty soon, very soon, like within a week soon or 2 weeks soon. Tanya asks, wet hair like after the rain or a shower. Again, really all you can do right now for wet hair is the metallic stuff, unfortunately, that I showed earlier. So I'm just going to try and get through these questions here, since we're running a little bit over time. What I'm going to do, guys, is if you have any further questions that I don't answer, because we're going to go for probably another 15 minutes or so. If you have any questions that I don't answer, then you can just email me at kai@reallusion.com. Or there's also our forums at forum.reallusion.com. I really recommend, you'll probably get an answer faster from forum.reallusion.com. I recommend going here because we have people that are retired or have a lot of time in the day, and then and people come here to exchange information too, for troubleshoot problems together. This is probably the most efficient way to do things. I'll throw this link in the chat window for you guys there. It's not that hard. Forum.reallusion.com. So yeah, we're gonna go for like I said, another 15-20 minutes here, and then we're gonna just call it a day. So next question is from Gerardo. Focusing more on attaching the eyebrows and mustache for the facial animation. Attaching weights to the. Oh, maybe you're talking about separate meshes for eyebrows and mustache. In that case, yeah, it's more like hair. So it's more like the actual character's hair on the top of their head. So if you guys want a physics tutorial in the future, please don't ask for one. We'll be happy to oblige, but I hate physics. Next question is from Cheyenne. Can you export expressions with your character using the character transfer utility? This is something that you can do using 3D Exchange. Oh, I think you're talking about the how's it called? It's not called character transfer utility, but it's called, what is it called again? Man, I haven't used 3D Exchange in a while. But what Cheyenne is talking about is, where's my 3D Exchange? the characters head setup. Oh, what is it called? Goodness sakes. I'm gonna have to just load it up here. File. Oh, no more send to 3D Exchange. All right. It's over here called the I guess I'll have to, expression editor. That's the one. Face setup, expression editor. Whew. Okay. Yeah, you can export your own morphs and stuff in the expression editor. There's tutorials how to do that, but not possible with the with Character Creator 3, unfortunately, right now. So if you want to modify the morphs that your character has that are assigned to different parts of the facial puppet tool, excuse me, you have to use the expression editor here. And here's where you can also add morphs and delete morphs and stuff like that as well in the face setup section. Hope that answers your question. This Thron asks, is there any fleeing animations, like people fleeing from a fire or something? Possibly, but I'm going to have to leave that for you to search on your own there, unfortunately. Check out the Content Store Marketplace. There should be something like that. There's tons of fleeing stuff. Mark asks, is it better to use iRay textures than DAZ textures? No, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Simply because the digital human shader right now, the level is pretty good. If you get the right lighting, you can almost match, anything done in iRay. And iRay takes longer and it renders photorealistic stuff. I'll give you a pro tip here. If you're doing anything with animation, I wouldn't recommend using iRay. If you're just looking for beautiful setups, like beautiful, poses and stuff like that, yeah, you can use iRay and use iRay textures, but it really depends on what you're going to be doing in your project. So question from Adam, is it possible to split the head and the body up separately for DAZ characters that you import? Unfortunately not, unless you use a separate program. We don't have the option to do that in Character Creator 3 right now. That would require a modeling software. But yeah, unfortunately not at the moment, but that's a possibility for the future. Okay, other question, can you import DAZ characters? Yep, you can import DAZ characters into Character Creator 3. Michael asks, when I bring ethnic characters into CC3, it always makes them white characters. If I bake the textures when I use advanced settings, will that rectify the issue? Yes, bake the textures. Like I showed earlier, you need to bake the textures from DAZ. And again, if you want to, if I want to make this character like a black character, for example, we have the base, the black character base. Oops, my chat window's in the way. Let's just avoid that. Like in skin here, we have the skin base. Just throw on this, there's what's in the realistic human skin pack. The African female character right here, that's just your basic darker skin base. And again, there's a male African as well. Like you can modify them, but in various ways, but those are the base ones that you can use from Character Creator 3. And I would recommend these because we've worked hard on optimizing those. Frank asks, are you going to support DAZ fiber mesh or beards? Not at the moment, but we're looking into that in the future. Okay. Yeah, so to create morph sliders, you can use these options up here. Create morph slider editor, head and body morph sliders. Okay, just right above the accessory stuff for morphs for your character. For that previous question, just kind of popped up here. Mike asks, I've had issues importing DAZ characters with heels. Is there a trick to getting heels to transform properly? In 3D Exchange, there's a heel option. In Character Creator 3, Yeah, if you have your character and your character has heals, there's an option, I believe, in the modify, if I remember properly here. The modify tab down here. If your character imports in with heals, under modify, something will appear down here. And it'll just say basically high heals. And you just click on that. Since this character doesn't have heals right now, if I put heals on her, it should potentially pop up here. Let's find some nice fancy heals. Who would have heals? Street fashion? Nope. Shoes. This one should have leather shoes. Oh man, we gotta have something with high heels. Oh man. My goodness. Okay, I think we have in the main folder, there should be something like high heels, right? Our default, there we go. Trying to find high heels all over the place. Yeah, there's our heels. So it should appear here. You'll see high heels right there. You can select that, and then there's like heel height. Okay, so your dad's ones are probably importing in like this. So just change the heel height like that. Okay, let's cancel that. Okay, hopefully that answers your question there, Mike. And let's go to the next one. Yes, a headshot is used. Question from Distron. Headshot is used to convert people's photos into 3D models. Yeah, for sure. Highly recommend checking out Headshot. That's probably our most popular plugin right now. Will realistic human skin packs be fully functional without SkinGen Premium? This is a question from Zola. Yep, they'll be fully functional. You just won't be able to customize them as much. John asks, when will 3D Exchange be 64-bit? I believe in the next update that'll be coming along with iClone 8. That's when we're transforming 3D Exchange into 64-bit. That's still a while off though. Another question from Distron. Does Character Creator do mesh decimation for converting higher poly models into game-ready ones? Yep, use your Insta LOD tool up here if you want to convert to, you can do polygon reduction for all this stuff, okay? Insta LOD, again, you have to have the pipeline version of Character Creator 3 for this. For all the Insta LOD stuff, you can reduce polygons quite significantly. Does Reillusion have a Discord channel yet? From Stephanie. Unfortunately, I don't think we do have a Discord channel, not to my knowledge. But stay tuned, because I think we'll probably, if there's enough demand for one, we'll get one coming up soon. Email marketing@reillusion.com, and they may be able to set one up for us here. Question from David. Hair physics in UE4. How do we make Daz hair work in UE4? There's tutorials that I've seen for importing Daz characters into UE4 where they directly talk about how to adjust the physics. Again, that doesn't have anything to do with iClone really, but yeah, in terms of our iClone here, we do have to use the physics. The strand-based hair system, I believe we're compatible with that with our hair. For the Daz hair, I'm not entirely sure, because it's a bit more, Daz hair tends to be a bit more complicated. I think we've kind of optimized our hair mesh and structure to be a bit simpler. But I don't think we have any tutorials on that, unfortunately. Frank's mentioning here, how do I maximize the processor's usage for CC3? There's a couple of ways you can do that. If you go into your preferences, whoops, here down at the bottom, you can change your real-time render options to stuff like quick or minimal. That's one way to really optimize your usage. Again, you can deselect all these things if you want. Change your match texture size. When it comes to the dynamic texture editor, you can adjust the memory allocation stuff here, the performance. All these various options down here, just mess around with those. The help file should be able to tell you more about that, which ones are good and which ones aren't. Trice asks, is it possible for me to make my own character and convert it into CC3 Base? Technically, yes. You'd have to import it in through 3D Exchange. And you'd have to map the rig yourself. So there's no rig mapping in Character Creator 3. Rig mapping is done in 3D Exchange. So you just basically import in your own custom character into 3D Exchange, and then you would convert it to a non-standard character here in 3D Exchange. Basically, because the rigs have to match, right? So a custom character, if you have to convert it to our rig, essentially. Can we bring a complete 1 GB project into Unreal Engine? Will it take more rendering time? Again, that's a loaded question because there's so many things you can do to adjust the resource usage in your Unreal project. I can't really answer that, unfortunately, right now. Another question from Pete here. Can you show us where to find, oh, that was under the character eyes, that's the same question. I kind of answered that already. Okay, I think getting a bunch of repeat questions here. Not sure why. Pete asks, can pop video assets in an iClone scene be used in a game engine like Unity or Unreal? Pop video, it's only available for use in iClone, unfortunately. You can't take those into Unity or Unreal unless you export them as MOV files with alpha information. Then you can only use it within iClone. I recommend using most of that stuff within iClone anyways. There's better options for bringing into Unreal than pop video, I think. Okay, good. When is CC4 coming? CC4 is not coming for a while. That'll be probably end of next year, I think. Next question is, oh, Jason mentioned, clarifying here, JCM is joint correction morph. I'm not sure. I can't give you an answer for that, Jason. I'm not too familiar with the joint correction morph. You can test it out. I think auto setup should be compatible with all the bases. I'm not sure if joint correction morph is a new thing. I've never come across it in my travels in Unreal, unfortunately. I don't do much rigging, but yeah, test it out. The auto setup tool is free, so you can just basically download that from the site and test it out anyways. Question from Titonia. Do you get more eye morphs with headshot, or does 1000 morph have the same amount? So the 1000 morph plus pack has a bunch of different morphs. Okay, tons more morphs. I believe if you purchase headshot, you should get that 1000 morph pack free. So keep that in mind. Hopefully, it used to be that way. Another question from Jose. Is VR export still out of Revolution's future? iClone would be a great tool for animated VR storytelling. So we do have VR export from iClone. There's a render option for that. Like if you render video, there's a VR option. Where is it? Well, there's a 3D option. There's 360 panorama rendering. Where is the? Gotta be something. Because I know people have done VR AR with our stuff before. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we are working on that. That's one thing I heard as well. I can't see the option for it. I've never exported to that medium myself, but yeah, I guess there's only the 3D stereo. I thought there was the VR stuff. I guess that's coming in the future because I have definitely heard of it. Okay. Yeah, sorry, sorry I can't give you more information on that. Is there a way to create realistic hair in CC3 without any third-party software? Not really, since hair is basically done with a modeling tool. So yeah, you'll need to have like something like ZBrush to create hair. Again, Titania there. We're gonna go through the home stretch here. We're gonna get the last few questions. Yeah, so Frank asks, can we import DAZ expression morphs and have them show up as morphs in CC3 Plus characters. That'd be a nice feature to have. Yeah, again, you can import in your morphs through the way I mentioned before. So create morph sliders, or rather, well, I mean iClone. Here we go. Create morph sliders up here. Head and body morph sliders. That's the way you would import them in. And you can also import them in via your expression editor over here in Morph List and 3D Exchange. Roy asks, is it possible to export my character creator 3 model directly from ZBrush into iClone through Exchange with the rig from CC3? So Roy, I highly recommend for you, if you're using a ZBrush, to check out our GoZ pipeline. So like I mentioned here, we have the export to GoZ, and that'll export directly into ZBrush. And that pipeline, you can search for it like GoZ on our website, and you'll be able to find that. Just search like Reallusion GoZ, and you'll be able to find something about that. That'll give you the best pipeline procedures there. But unfortunately, right now, in terms of DAZ expressions, I'm not sure to clarify with the last question if you're talking about DAZ expressions or just DAZ morph shapes. The DAZ expressions can't be imported into CC3 right now from Transformer. That was another anonymous attendee question there. Headshot is a plugin for Character Creator 3, Distron. 3D Exchange is a separate tool that works it's basically used for animation, to bring animation in and out of iClone. Yeah, you don't need 3D Exchange if you're not animating, really. Roy asks, are there any tutorials on how to rig a character in iClone? Not rigging a character in iClone, but in 3D Exchange. Basically, all of our products, by the way, if we just go to the main site, all of our products have a Learning Center. So iClone Learning Center right here. Any tutorials you want to find, go over here to Learn in Tutorials, and there should be tutorials here on that kind of stuff. Plugins and I believe Pipeline probably has some stuff in terms of rigging. If not, yeah, I don't want to just search YouTube right now, but we do have tutorials definitely on how to rig a character in 3D Exchange. That's where you rig the characters there. And you can email me later if you want to. I could probably search around for a few minutes for it and find it. John asks, can I render using RenderMan? Not possible right now for iClone, although there may be a plugin in the future. Anonymous attendee asks, will there be any live link for Unity? Yeah, we're working on that right now. So live link for Unity is in the future. Can't tell you when though. Let's go here to John asks, will iClone 8 be able to use the universal scene description file format from Pixar? I have heard echoes of that. Whether or not it's going to be implemented, I'm not sure. See, in the development process, there's things that we try out, and if they're, fairly simple to integrate, we can do so. But I have heard that being discussed. However, I can't give a solid answer, yes or no, if it's going to be included. Yeah, anonymous attendee, I can't really see. You're referring to a previous question, but I'm not sure which question it was. So, all right. Thanks, Ola, for coming in today and checking out the webinar. Okay, I think we're just rounding off our questions here. We have like 85 questions, holy smokes. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and end off the webinar there, since we're kind of gone through everything. So, and we're about an hour and a half over. So thanks so much, everyone. I want to extend my appreciation for all you guys attending today, and hopefully you learned a couple new things at least. And again, we're sending out the video for you guys to review on your own time at any time. And don't forget to fill out that survey and check out all that stuff. And I think that's about it. So I think I'm going to sign off here. Thanks again, everyone, for being here today. I really appreciate it. And adios. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And make sure you check out our forums over at forum.reallusion.com. All right. See you guys. Thanks so much.